So, you want to begin a special needs ministry at your church. Where do you start? The only way to know what you need to do is to ask the people you want to serve. This step may seem obvious, but think about the range of needs that exist. The needs of a 30-something wheelchair user and a child with cerebral palsy are going to be radically different. The needs of a caregiving spouse are going to differ from a young married couple raising a child with autism, or a widow looking after her middle-aged child with Down syndrome. The best way to know what your church's disability or special needs ministry should look like is to find out who's already at your church and ask them what they need. By meeting the needs of people already in your church, you will grow in your capacity to serve those who will come in the future. By learning to ask the right questions, you'll be better prepared to meet needs. And you might be surprised by the people who are already in your congregation dealing with silent, invisible disabilities. Things like autism, traumatic brain injuries, learning differences, cognitive delays, chronic illnesses or pain, PTSD, trauma, or even abuse can all make it difficult to fully participate in church life. When you see a wheelchair user like me at the bottom of a staircase, it's not hard to see the physical barrier, but invisible disabilities have invisible barriers. For many people with disabilities, the greatest struggles they face are not a direct result of their disability, but the consequences of how people treat them because of their disability. Asking the people you intend to serve isn't just a good idea for understanding their needs, it's a way to affirm their value and autonomy as people created in the image of God. Asking is step one and is something we need to return to often. Needs change and adapt with time. Periodic adjustments and tune-ups will keep your ministry healthy and vibrant as those you serve move from childhood to teen years into adult life. Step 2, set goals. Your ministry needs to know what it's trying to accomplish. Ministries can adapt and change over time, but if you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. A mission statement will help guide choices. And the good news is your church probably already has a mission statement. For example, if your church mission statement says, to be a place where everyone can know Jesus, connect with others, and serve our community, how do people with disabilities fit into that mission? The answer is simple. They're part of everyone. If you tie your disability ministry's mission to the mission of the church, it becomes part of your church's DNA. Step 3, define leadership roles. The long-term health of your ministry depends on having a ministry structure that can scale to the size of your ministry. Regardless of your ministry's focus or purpose, there are 3 roles that need to be filled. While a small ministry may have one person filling these roles, a growing ministry will need to delegate these responsibilities to a team. The first role is a leadership liaison. This person has access to church staff and leadership, providing a bridge for open communication. The second role is a volunteer liaison. Training, encouraging, and scheduling volunteers is key to any ministry, and especially in disability ministry, where relationships are critical and trust is built slowly over time. The third role is family liaison. This person builds relationships to understand the needs of new families and the changing needs of existing families as they move through different phases of life. Step 4, recruit volunteers. Disability ministry can sound like the realm of medical professionals and trained special ed teachers. But remember, not an expert does not mean unqualified. While experts provide helpful guidance and insights, godly character and gifting counts far more than experience or expertise. You want volunteers who can grow in their God-given gifting. Be cautious about recruiting parents or siblings of someone affected by a disability. While they may have experience and a willingness to help, offering respite to families affected by special needs may be more valuable. You can also recruit from within existing ministries. Since disability ministry occurs within existing ministries, your children's ministry volunteers, your ushers, greeters, and worship leaders should all be aware of the needs of people with disabilities and be trained in varying degrees to be sensitive to those needs. But for those more specialized roles, such as buddies who are paired up one-on-one with children with special needs, how do you recruit the right people? Connecting someone's gifts and characters with disability ministry helps people see how they are already qualified to serve. Consider the power of saying, I see the way you are patient and kind and always remember details about people's lives. Those are qualities we need in our disability ministry. Be intentional in your conversations with those you want to serve with. And when you're asking people to volunteer, be clear on what you're asking them to do. Define the volunteer role, frequency of service, time commitment, training provided, and your leadership structure. Clearly defined expectations and commitments will be a blessing to everyone involved. The final and fifth step is to prepare your church. Volunteers aren't the only ones who need training. A truly accessible church involves everyone in the church family. A church culture that values, welcomes, and accepts people of all abilities is a church that reflects the heart of Christ. A church where people with disabilities are not only served, but have an avenue and opportunity to serve is the goal. Guests can be served, but only family is asked to help do the dishes. And at every step along the way, pray. God is the one calling people with disabilities into relationship with Himself. As we join in the work of the Holy Spirit, our churches will be blessed. For additional resources, handouts, and free training materials, go to johnnyandfriends.org/church.